Hi, this is Cory McCarthy, and welcome to a new episode of Fit, Formidable, and Fantastic. That's right. Go F yourself, and happy Friday. In this episode, I want to do something that I haven't really done yet, because I feel really moved and inspired to do so. Now, please bear with me. I'm very tired right now. I just finished a brutal chest workout with deltoids, and I'm in sort of a tired, euphoric state. It's the best way to describe it. So I'm going to try to make this as coherent as possible. I'm going to do a review of a product, a very popular product, or it's become so. And I just wanted to put my thoughts out there on it, and I think that based on some of the other reviews I've seen and write-ups I've seen about this, that there hasn't been enough detail, and there were things that I was curious about that I'm going to touch on in this review. So if there's someone else like me out there who is curious about these same things, I'm going to hit on them. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. This episode, I'm going to be reviewing the Fat Gripz. That is fat and grips with a Z at the end. They're a training tool. They're like two rubber grips you apply to your barbell or dumbbell or kettlebell even. And it increases the width of the bar or the handle by an additional about 2 inches or so, mimicking a fat bar. That's essentially what it's supposed to do. The website describes that it's meant to take stress off your joints, put more stress firmly on the target muscle, like your arm, specifically your biceps. The tools are, and your triceps, that is. The tools are actually marketed toward arm, forearm, and grip strength and growth, essentially. That's what they're marketed toward. Basically, it's like Fat Gripz, get big arms, essentially, is what they're... So, that's one of the things they're saying is it'll take the stress off your joints, and you'll feel it more so in your target muscles, like your biceps or triceps or what have you. Well, anyway, let me get into this. I want to first discuss the weight that I used and what happens with that. You will have to lower the weight that you use with the Fat Gripz from what you're used to using without the Fat Gripz. Just because your grip is, there's a number of factors, but the fact that you're trying to hold what feels like a log, essentially, compared to a normal barbell or dumbbell, is one of the reasons. Now, for me, the smaller muscle groups like the biceps and triceps, and on dumbbell exercises, for instance, on the back and what have you, I started with about 20 to 22% less weight. That's what I was lifting, 20 to 22% less weight than what I was using pre-Fat Gripz. So there was a drop. Now, my larger muscle groups, specifically the barbell compound movements like your bent over row, your shrugs, and your deadlifts, they started out around 40% in a decrease in weight versus what I was using before the Fat Gripz. Now, I want to point something out here. These were the starting weights and reductions that I personally experienced with my Fat Gripz use. It will likely vary from person to person. In an email exchange that I had with a Franco at fatgripz.com, I'm going to quote him here. It's a difficult question to answer based on so many factors from hand size, strength, previous grip work, etc. I'd say aim for half and test from there. Be cautious too on pressing movements as your strength rebuilds, which it will very fast, and then you are a lot stronger human being. That's what the Fat Gripz are all about. End quotes. In my case, I worked my forearms a lot before ever trying the Fat Gripz. Every arm session, sometimes on back days, I would include some forearm movements. So before I ever got the Fat Gripz, I was doing that. I also come from a martial arts background, which conditioned my hands and my grip quite a bit. I'm saying this because my starting weight may not be your starting weight, and if you try reducing to only 20 to 22% down, you may find that's too little of a reduction and you need more. You still want to feel the weight. You still want to work with it. You don't want to risk injury. So this is from my own experience, but I thought I would put that out there since I'm logging this in my review here. Now back to it. By the second week in, my arm work had improved. I returned to my pre-Fat Gripz level within 2 weeks. In other words, with the Fat Gripz, I was back to using the same weight that I was using 2 weeks previously without the Fat Gripz. So literally, it was like an explosive improvement in my arm strength within 2 weeks' time. So that's a relatively explosive improvement. Now, it's still too soon to see any noticeable muscle benefits from the Fat Gripz, the muscle growth benefits, that is, but the strength benefits are certainly clear in a very short period of time. Furthermore, I noticed the following benefits during training, various training sessions. One, I did indeed have less joint stress and discomfort on notorious lifts like the triceps extensions. And two, I did indeed feel more stress firmly, and I mean firmly, on the target muscles that I was trying to work, and as well as my forearm and my hand grip. Imagine getting a forearm pump doing bench press. Literally, I did. And my barbell curls, for instance, burned like never before. Like literally, just my biceps just swelled up within a couple sets of barbell curls. I also noticed better pumps, which is probably due to the better stress placed on the target muscle. I also noticed more DOMs from training and for longer periods of time. Now, imagine, if you will, arm DOMs that last as long as your typical leg DOMs, 3 to 4 days. I was experiencing things like that. Now, this came with a lesson that I learned. And heed this because it might affect you as well. Now, initially, I got crazy from excitement after my first session. I really just loved my Fat Gripz that much that I just got crazy and wanted to use them in everything I conceivably could. So I worked out a weekly training program that allowed me to use my Fat Gripz at every session, including leg day on things like barbell stiff leg deadlifts or dumbbell lunges, for instance. After 3 days, I found this to be way too much. The DOMs became actually debilitating, and my lifts suffered significantly. I feared that if I actually continued, that my forearms would be overtrained and possibly injured. Yes, it actually felt that wrong. This is not a whine. I'm not prone to whining here. This actually felt that bad. Opening jars, for instance, or opening doors, or just doing the dishes by wringing out a sponge became a painful chore. So it was actually bleeding into my daily activities, even using a pen, for instance. Think the worst leg day DOMs you can possibly imagine, and then amplify that by 5 or more. That's what it was. That's probably a ballpark representation of what it was like. It went well beyond what DOMs should feel like and into something completely different, something that was not good. So I talked with a strength coach and personal trainer friend of mine, and she recommended I currently reduce my Fat Gripz training to just arm days. And if strength and hypertrophy are my goals, I should increase my dedicated arm training frequency to twice a week. So I ultimately settled on a split that goes Monday back and traps, Tuesday arms, Wednesday rest day, Thursday chest and deltoids, Friday leg day, and then Saturday my second arm session, and then Sunday being a rest day. And this actually is proving to be a much better plan for the Fat Gripz. The work that I'm doing on my arms with Fat Gripz is not only helping my arm strength, for instance, but that's translating over to the non-Fat Grip training with my back, chest, etc. It's allowing me to get more reps. So it's not hindering at all. That's actually helping. Just keeping it on arm days and doing that arm day twice a week. So basically my conclusion after saying all this is I fucking love my Fat Gripz. I'm just going to put that very bluntly. Worth every damn penny that I had spent on them. You can find them online at like fatgripz.com, for instance. And again, it's Gripz with a Z at the end, not an S. And they sell them, I think, for around the $40 price range, and they might find them on sale sometimes there as well. You can find them on Amazon. You can do various searches. I've seen them for about $30. I got mine around $32, I think. But anyway, they're possibly one of the best lifting tools that I've ever purchased to date, and that is the honest-to-God truth. Followed closely by my ab wheel and my weight belt for dips and pull-ups that I use. And I will continue to use my Fat Gripz And if anything noteworthy comes to light, I will do a follow-up video on that. But that's really all I have to say at the moment. I definitely highly recommend them if you are serious about increasing your grip strength, increasing your forearm strength, and building your arms, and just building your entire body in general, and just bettering all your lifts. Better realizing your genetic potential that may have been held back by weak links, for instance, such as weaker forearms and grip. As a lot of people complain that their forearms and their grip gives out before the target muscle does on some movements. Think deadlift or rows, for instance. Anyway, that's really all I have to say about this. If you have anything you want to add, maybe you've used Fat Gripz, or any questions you want to ask, please drop them below. I'll see you guys on Monday for a regularly scheduled episode. Until then, stay fit, stay formidable, and stay fantastic. I'll see you around.